Owner by the best is, the best that was, the best ever will be. There have been none before me, and there'll be none after me. Therefore, I am the one, only Jacoby, and welcome to Wrestling Made Simple. We got an action-packed week this week with your news of the week, followed by your SmackDown review, and then we go into a review and a grade for this year's SummerSlam coming live from Cleveland. We then have your Raw review, followed by your drink of the week, and then the Battle Droid of the week. Let's get into the news this week, though, as starting off with some sad news, as Bob Backlund has announced he is battling dementia. This is a very sad thing to go through. I mean, a former WWE champion, and you're watching his mind, unfortunately, go away from him. We have seen wrestlers deal with stuff like this, as we have seen Vampiro go through Alzheimer's. He is still fighting strong, but you know it sucks to see this. It sucks to see one of the greatest WWE champions of all time go through this. And a former star teases a comeback to the ring. Apparently, Trish Stratus has commented saying Cody Rhodes isn't the only one with an unfinished story. You have Trish Stratus teasing her return while Becky Lynch is teasing retirement. Becky Lynch saying she is basically done with wrestling on Instagram. Whether the comeback is true, whether retirement is true, only time will tell. And finally, in the final story this week, two big talents could be going to WWE as the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zero Miedo, and you have Rey Fenix Jr. teasing that they are going to WWE. I would love to have these guys in WWE. These guys are unbelievable talents. If you don't believe me, just go watch their reigns as Lucha Underground champions, as Trios champions. They're working Lucha Underground and in Impact, as the latter, Penta El Zero Miedo, was the World Heavyweight Champion. These two would be amazing to have in any division, but I hope they would book it right, not just make them, hey, they're the new members of the LWL. No, book these guys right. Book them as they should be, which are high flyers and amazing wrestlers. With that being said, the future looks bright for WWE, so let's get into here and now with SmackDown. SmackDown kicked off with your WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa coming face to face. You would have the Tribal Chief Solo Sikoa say he wants a Bloodline Rules match, which Cody accepted and called Solo a wannabe Tribal Chief. This really made me excited for their championship match at SummerSlam. I felt it needed a stipulation. SummerSlam really didn't have any stipulation matches on it except for a special guest referee, so this made me very excited for that. We then get WWE Speed Champion Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes in a rematch, and a great match it was indeed. Andrade picking up the win, but Triple H really letting his talent cook and have matches that, while can be on pay-per-views, don't need to be. I know people give him some criticism of, does he really need to show this match on SmackDown? Why can't it be on SummerSlam or Payback? No, let's see him. Let's make SmackDown and Raw tune-in TV that, hey, I gotta watch because I don't know what could happen tonight. Excuse me. We could have the WWE Championship change hands. We could have anything happen tonight. That's what live TV should be. We then get Santos Escobar versus Apollo Crews in a nice little match. Santos Escobar would pick up the win just to get these guys on TV and show that they are still in the company. We then get a little segment between L.A. Knight, and Logan Paul. You would have Logan Paul cut a promo on L.A. Knight. When Knight's music would hit, Knight would actually head to the back for a second and grab the Prime banner. He would then steal Paul's Prime hydration vehicle and drive it off. This was very funny to see Logan Paul chase after him going, "That's illegal!" It was hilarious. If you're looking for a laugh, go watch that. We then get Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeat Alba Fire and Isla Dawn via DQ after Blair Davenport would interfere, allowing the Women's Tag Team Championships to be retained. This is apparently going to be a new group going forward. I don't know what their name's going to be. They're looking for names on Twitter, so I'll tell you what, leave your name in the comments for this new trio. We then get Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, giving Tiffany Stratton a new Money in the Bank briefcase. It actually looks pretty funny for her. We then get your main event in a really cool tag team match of DIY versus the Bloodline, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. The Bloodline would pick up the win and would win the WWE Tag Team titles. Jacob and Tama would then put the titles on Solo Sikoa's shoulders after the match. It was awesome to see this. Really enjoyed this show. Cool to see the Bloodline pick up the win. I do wish that they gave DIY a little more time with the titles, but I like that you have something new for the WWE Tag Team Championships. I hope they just don't become fodder for the Bloodline to hold on to, just to say, hey, we have some titles. Yay, go us. No, these titles should be treated with the respect of a main title. Whew. Alrighty. Let's move on to SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen. One of the highest grossing events of all time for WWE, apparently. I think the highest grossing SummerSlam and one of the most attended, with an attendance of 57,000. The show kicked off with Liv Morgan defending her title against Rhea Ripley, and this was a great way to start the show. Liv Morgan would pick up the win after Rhea Ripley would try to hit Liv with a steel chair. Dirty Dom would get involved and grab the chair, saying, hey, you can't win the title that way, and would kind of screw Rhea over. After this, he would turn even more heel, since he was already a heel, and join up with Liv Morgan, showing he is leaving Rhea Ripley for Liv Morgan. We then get Sami Zayn defending the Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker. And I was sitting with a couple friends watching this show, and I want to point out two things. One, this show surprised the hell out of me. I did not see all the title changes coming. And two, I thought it was awesome the way they booked the younger talent. Braun Breaker picked up the win with a spear and is your new Intercontinental Champion in a 5-minute match. I thought that was smart, really showed both men's talent, but at the same time kept it short. Booking Braun Breaker is such a Goldberg-type character, which I think is awesome for him. Braun Breaker picks up the win and is your new Intercontinental Champion. We then get Logan Paul with Machine Gun Kelly. That's right, Machine Gun Kelly from Cleveland, defending his title against L.A. Knight. Yeah, Logan Paul would go for the brass knucks, would kind of connect with L.A. Knight, but not enough to keep L.A. Knight down. One BFT later, L.A. Knight is no longer, he is your United States champion. Awesome to see that. Great job by L.A. Knight in a 12-minute match. I actually really enjoyed this one. We then get Nia Jax challenging Bayley for the Women's World Championship, the WWE Women's Championship, and Nia Jax would actually pick up the win and is your new Women's Champion, as it would look for a second Tiffany Stratton would cash in. This would cause a distraction, allowing Nia to pick up the win and become your new Women's Champion on SmackDown. I was shocked by this decision. I was shocked. We then get CM Punk and Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins as your special guest referee. Awesome match. Really enjoyed this one. Seth Rollins really getting a part of the action. If they actually just released Seth Rollins' ref cam on Twitter, it is funny to watch. Seth Rollins would go count the 1, 2, 3, but would then be hit by a go to sleep by Punk, not seeing a low blow. Drew McIntyre would then hit a Claymore. 1, 2, 3. Drew McIntyre picks up the win, and Seth Rollins screws over CM Punk. This is going exactly how I thought it would on that match. I gotta say that. We then get Damian Priest defending his title against Gunther. Damian Priest would hit the South of Heaven chokeslam, would go to pin Gunther, and Finn Balor would screw over Damian Priest. Damian Priest would be too distraught with Finn to not know it's Gunther coming up behind him, locking in the submission. Damian Priest passes out. Gunther is your new World Heavyweight Champion. Did not see that one coming at all. That was a shocker. And finally, in your main event, Cody Rhodes defends his title against Solo Sikoa in a Bloodline rules match. Everyone would get involved. Jacob Fatu would actually look to be injured. Apparently, it was just a sell. Thank Christ. He sold it perfectly, by the way. So, Cody Rhodes would go for the pin, and you would actually have Roman Reigns make his return. Roman Reigns helps Cody Rhodes by Superman punching Solo Sikoa. Cody Rhodes picks up the pin and retains his title. Roman Reigns is back. Great SummerSlam. I can't see a bad match on the card. I enjoyed every single match. This was an A+ home run pay-per-view by Triple H. Great job. Definitely felt like the biggest party of the summer. It makes me excited for what next year holds and for what 2026 holds when they go to a 2-night event. But speaking of 2 nights event, let's go to the 2 nights after SummerSlam, as Raw kicked off with Ludwig Kaiser making his return, introducing the new World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. Gunther would come out saying there is nothing that could surprise him anymore and he is ready for the next challenge. And then some voices came out. Randy Orton would return to Raw and would challenge Gunther for the Bash in Berlin pay-per-view, saying he wants to become a 15-time world champion. Gunther shook Randy Orton's hand and pulled him in and says nothing catches him out of nowhere. Orton responded when saying he wants Gunther to see the RKO coming. After this, we get Ludwig Kaiser's return match against Sheamus. Sheamus would pick up the win with a bro kick after Pete Dunne would try to interfere and cost Sheamus the match. Sheamus would still pick up the win and would beat Ludwig Kaiser. We would then get Damian Priest storming down to the ring, calling out Finn Balor. Finn Balor showed up on the Titantron and showed off the new Judgment Day with Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, Carlito, and JD McDonough. I don't know what to think of this. People are getting him shit of this new Judgment Day thing. While I do agree it should be a different name, I think it has potential to be a really cool faction. We then get Big Bronson Reed going to Adam Pearce asking for an opportunity to face Sheamus. Pearce declined, and Reed said he'll take care of things himself then. We then get Lyra Valkyria versus Shayna Baszler. Nice little match. Unfortunately, never really got a chance to get started as Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark would interfere. Damage Control would then make the save for Lyra. I don't know if they're faces or heels, but they are helping out Lyra Valkyria. CM Punk then came out and called out Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre would then come out and call out CM Punk. He would chase after Drew McIntyre, which led to Rollins being alone in the ring. And then Bronson Reed would come out and blindside Rollins. Reed would then hit Seth with a Death Valley driver and a pair of sentons before hitting a tsunami 4 times before officials can break it up and let Seth Rollins be carted out. We then get the New Day versus the Authors of Pain in an okay match. This match really just didn't stick out to me. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like there still doesn't feel like that chemistry that should be in the ring between the New Day and the final chapter. The New Day would pick up the win as Ozzy Jones would finally make his main roster debut. He stopped Karrion Kross from interfering. Jones single-handedly took out Akam and Razor post-match, then brawled with Karrion Kross as well. Ozzy celebrated with Kofi Kingston as Xavier Woods would stand back and kind of watch like, didn't see that one coming. We then get A-Town Down Under versus the Awesome Truth. A-Town Down Under would pick up the win in a nice little tag team match. We then get Damian Priest and versus the World Tag Team Champion JD McDonough, which would end in a DQ after Finn Balor would get involved. The new Judgment Day would attack Damian Priest, which led to Rhea Ripley coming out to lay out McDonough while everybody else managed to run away. Damian Priest and Rhea hugged. I guess this is going to be your next big feud. We were supposed to get Dakota Kai versus Sonya Deville, but Dakota Kai would be laid out backstage. Io Sky would then come out and face Sonya Deville. In a really cool match, you would have twin senton. You would have the over-the-moon moonsault to the outside to take out Zoe Stark, while an insane elbow was delivered to Shayna Baszler by Kairi Sane. That was a really cool, because they were both on the top rope. That was a really cool move. The same top rope, by the way, from the corner. Same corner. Yeah, this was a cool moment. Io Sky would pick up the win and would defeat Sonya Deville. We then get your main event of the Wyatt Six versus what they're calling American Made, Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. The Wyatt Six would pick up the win. Uncle Howdy, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt, and Abby the Witch would watch from ringside before getting into the ring with a "We're here" and blowing out the lantern. Awesome show. The Wyatt Six debut was amazing. I know some people are not really sold on them yet. I am completely. The only thing that could sell me more is if Alexa Bliss is involved, which she apparently is training for a return to the ring. So it would be very cool to see her with the Wyatt Six. Whew. I could use a drink. How about in honor of the Wyatt Six, we go a little spooky with a spooky screwdriver. 2 parts orange juice, 1 part black vodka, and an orange. Rim the glass using black and orange sugar, and a drop of food coloring on normal sugar if you don't have the colored sugar. Fill the rim glass with ice, pour over your orange juice, and carefully layer the black vodka on top. Add your orange slice, and drink responsibly. Do not drink and drive. Do not drink if you're under 21, and do not overconsume on alcohol. And now, everybody, it is time for the Battle Droid of the Week. The Battle Droid of the Week this week is the AEW Punishment Committee. Now, for those of you who didn't hear, apparently there was a backstage little scuffle, not a fight, just an argument of words between Britt Baker and MJF. Britt Baker had said some very rude comments about MJF's, I believe, girlfriend, fiance, whatever it is. MJF confronted her. They had their words. They were split up. Apparently, all was good. Well, not for the AEW Punishment Committee, as they have suspended Britt Baker for over 2 weeks without pay. Now, I completely disagree with this, and here's why. You share a locker room with her boyfriend, Adam Cole. You are going to be working with this person. Listen, I understand if you don't like me, if you don't like my girlfriend, that's fine. Let's have those words. Let's make it clear, hey, we don't have to like each other, but let's work together in the ring. Let's stop talking all the BS, and let's just work. There was no need to suspend anyone. There was no need for this shit to be publicized. It just simply needed to be sit down behind closed doors. Here's this. Okay, let's go. This doesn't need to be ever brought up again. Have a great day. But instead, AEW made a huge sting. This was a stupid move and a petty move by the AEW Decision Committee. So because of that, they are the Balger of the Week. Congratulations.
Uh-oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. I have been the big guy, and this has been Wrestling Made Simple. I hope you guys have a great week in wrestling. Next week, we will start to build to Bash in Berlin. And I will hopefully be coming to you with some different pay-per-views since I have no current Bash at Berlin pay-per-views to review. So maybe we'll go into WCW, ECW, maybe even a TNA review. Who knows? But until then, have a great week in wrestling, ladies and gentlemen.